Heather from Strings and Threads. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. I've been calling Wednesdays Wearable Wednesdays because starting in the new year, I had wanted to get better at making wearables and wearables that I'd actually want to wear and feel comfortable with. And I had a few successes and I had a few failures, but recently the last two projects I've done, I've liked. I did the one cardigan, a pink cardigan sweater, and I love that. I've worn it a couple times, but now I think it's gonna be too hot to wear it for the rest of this season, so I'll have to wait till fall to wear it again. And then I did the summer poncho top that now Jess from J Hook Magic is doing. She's joining me with Wearable Wednesday. So go check hers out and see the progress that she's making on hers. I think it's looking amazing. She ran out of one color and then started it up in another color. So we'll see, maybe she'll be able to have two out of this if she's able to get more of the original color that she started with. But I've worn that several times and I think it's a wonderful shirt. I love it. But I don't know that I would have necessarily labeled it a summer top because it is a little bit warm. It's short sleeves and I think it's perfect for spring and fall. So I would probably have named it a spring and fall top. But the dead of summer, I think I'd be dying in it. So there are two stations, Crochet DHD and Nina's Knots, that are doing something called hashtag Tanks and Tees 2023. So I thought I'd kind of hop on the bandwagon. They're just making tops and they're asking that if you make tops, you send them a picture and then they'll draw for prizes sometime early July from the people who sent them pictures. So go and check it out. Check them out if you're interested in that. I think it's just a thing they're doing. It's not like a whole group of people. It's just the two of them doing it. But I'm just going to talk about it and show what I'm going to make for it. So I did send them a picture of the top I just talked about, the Poncho-Style summer top. And then one of the patterns that they recommended, you can do any summer top, it doesn't matter, but one of them that they recommended was a cactus and lace design called Easy Crochet tank top, and it looks like this. I'm hoping I'll like it on me. So I've been working on that for the past couple of weeks, and I strictly work on it in my car while I'm waiting for my kids. I work at the middle school. I have one son in the middle school, one son in the high school. I explained this last week, so I won't get too much into it. But anyway, I have to wait for the middle school son to get out. Then we quick rush over to the high school, which is right next door. And then I wait for the high school and then we drive home. So that's when I work on it while I'm in there. The directions start from the bottom and work their way up. And they say do a certain number of rows or until it's the length that you would like it to be from your armpits. So I decided to just go with the length I'd like it to be from my armpits for two reasons. One, I didn't want to sit there and count that many rows. I was being lazy. And then second, I can't remember the second. I'm sorry. I probably did have a second. But I finished the front panel up to the armpits. So it's really long. I like wearing, I think this was my second point, I like wearing my shirts a little bit more on the longer side because I'd rather cover a little more. I don't think without turning the camera around that you'll be able to see it on me. But what I did, instead of starting to shape the armpits and continuing on, I started the back panel so that I don't have to count rows at all. So I'm going to, I got this much done of the back panel. I'm just gonna keep making it until it's the same length as the front panel. And then I'll know I'm to the armpits and then I can do all the shaping from there. So I am using the Dollar Tree Premier Just Cotton in the colorway yellow. And I decided to use that instead of the cotton that they called for. They called for Kaboo. just because I'm doing a lot of different projects. I'm doing Things We're Making Thursday, I'm doing Wearable Wednesday, and I'm making some other projects for my Patreon. And I'm not monetized here, and I'm not complaining, but I don't have very many subscribers right now on Patreon. So although am making a little bit of money on Patreon, you know, that pretty much just all goes to yarn. And I'm still in the negative when it comes to the yarn. And so most of what I make is coming from yarn that I have to buy from my family budget. So I've been trying really hard not to buy the really expensive yarns. I shouldn't say I'm trying really hard. I just really never have bought the really expensive yarns. And this pattern called for Coboo, I think is how you say it, C-O-B-O-O. And if I would have gotten the amount of yards that I needed, I think according to the pattern, I needed 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards of that cost somewhere in the mid 50s, so like $54, somewhere around there. And to get 1,000 yards of this was like $13. So that was much more reasonable. And it's actually kind of fun doing it in the yarn that is not as expensive, because then you can look at it and you can say, oh, it probably would be much better if you would do it in the better yarn, or wow, this still works out even if you're not using the expensive yarn. Because I know I'm not the only one who just can't rush out and spend tons of money on yarn. I would love to, don't get me wrong. And I look through some of the yarn, I'm like, oh, this would be so nice. But to tell you the truth, the feel of this cotton yarn is nice. It's light. I really could see myself at this point. Now, it's not put all together and I haven't had it against my skin to wear yet. But judging by how it feels and how airy this pattern is, lacy, I could see myself wearing this in the summer. I think this would be a nice summer top. And so, you know, someday if I do end up with either sponsors or, you know, monetize to the point where I can do this, I might do stuff in 2 different types of yarn just to have the comparison. I have a feeling some things are just better off with the nicer yarn, and then other things you can use, you know, less expensive substitutions and see how that works out. So I hope you're not seeing this as complaining because I am in no ways complaining. I'm just letting you know that I'm doing what is best for our family budget by choosing a different type of yarn for this project. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for Things We're Making Thursday, where we'll even announce the next month pattern. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.